Here's a question from Sanford in Baltimore, Maryland. Why a studio? Jessica, thank you for your videos and for sharing with us. You're quite welcome. I'm enjoying it. If Octave Records' goal is to make recordings that sound like the musicians are in the room, why have a studio and tracks and all that? Why not simply record them live? I think that's a great question. A few reasons. So I think actually one of our plans is to do some live recordings, which is an entirely different thing. When you go do a live recording, you have much less control of the environment. You never know, especially if there's an audience. Now, if there's an audience, that lowers the control even more. You don't know when someone's going to sneeze or cough, or maybe a baby cries because somebody brought their baby to the jazz club. I don't know. There's a lot less control in a live setting. Also, typically when you are at a live setting, you're probably going to try and record that show more than once because humans are not machines and we make mistakes. Even the most amazing classical player is going to make a mistake. And so typically that show will be recorded 2 or 3 times, and then they'll take the best performance and kind of piece it together. So the benefit of having your own studio is control. Even if you get in there and you treat it like it is a live recording and the band is going to play through all the songs live and you're not going to do overdubs, you still have more control of the environment and the situation. It's a little more malleable. You can get in there and really play with things, especially in our situation, we're building our own studio so we can have all the time that we want. We're not thinking about, oh gosh, we only booked the studio for 3 days. If we need 5 days, then we have that flexibility. So our engineers really want to take the time to get in there, set everything up. Maybe they want to experiment with a few different mics. That's another advantage of having, you're playing on your home turf, doing something in your studio. All your stuff is there. If you're going to do a live recording, you have to pack up your whole mic locker and all your gear just to have the options that you want. It's just, there's a certain convenience of having, your own space, your own room. I mean, you might even think of it in terms of an office. There's like, if you go to a coffee shop, you don't have control of the environment. If you forgot your PIN, then you just don't have one and you have to borrow one. And it's just, the comfortability of having your own office with all of your stuff and where your files are, where everything is. Even just that level of home turf, I mean, it really does make a difference. For us, we have put a lot of thought into how the studio feels as well. When you get into a place and you want to make good music, what you don't want to do is go into like a warehouse, or a venue that maybe feels kind of dingy and dirty, unless you're making like an amazing rock thing and you want the dinge and the dirt. But the environment, it really matters. You're creating art in there, and we've put a lot of thought into the aesthetic, just the palette of everything, to the kind of wood that's in there, to the colors, to the lighting. We have dimmers that if people are needing a little bit more mood lighting, we can turn those down and make it just right. So it's really good. If you're gonna be making music, you want to have the space, you want to know the space, you want that to be yours so you can set it up right every time. And when you have artists in, you can make it just right for them and feel like it's tailored to them. Much harder to do when you're doing it live. So, pros and cons.